Social media in today's society garners a lot of attention. Big social media companies like Facebook and Twitter make money off of consumer attention. This presents a problem in places like the classroom, where teachers are trying to properly implement technology but cannot because of these distractions. Senior Lecturer of General Chemistry, Dr. Kim Woodrum, has been teaching at the University of Kentucky for 25 years. During that time, she was able to see the shift in student distraction when technology was introduced.
When I started teaching, I truly had a chalkboard and I had chalk, and I walked in, I had notes on paper, and I taught my class. If I made assignments, I knew that the work that was presented was their work. It wasn't somebody else's work played off as theirs, because I started teaching before the internet, if you can believe that, okay? So there was no email, that's when I started teaching. And technology was a wonderful tool at first, because I could start doing some time on task activities outside of a large lecture. If it's a large lecture, I could have 3 tests and a final, and that was basically it, and suggest you work some homework problems. And then I could get to where I could assign homework problems, and they would grade it for me. So at first it was a good merging of those. PowerPoint was a great thing because I spelled terribly bad, and I didn't have to worry about spell check. It's spell checked for me. So at first it was a wonderful mix, and then it got to be where the phones were a distraction in the classroom, in computers. So I had this policy: no technology whatsoever in my classroom whatsoever. It had to be put away. That was easy to monitor at first, and then it got to where people would have their phones out no matter what I'd say, and I'd have these little slips that say, okay, you have to fill this out because you had your phone out, and I'm going to take off class participation, and that was a hassle. And then they decided we were going to let you use your laptops and your cell phones to track attendance, and then I lost the battle entirely. And I can vividly remember my last straw, when I am just putting my heart into the lecture. I've developed this lecture, and I'm up on stage, and I'm just really presenting it as best of my ability, and I look out there, and half the heads are here on the cell phone. And I can remember saying, that's it, I'm not lecturing ever again. Having students have the ability to watch my lecture somewhere else, or where they can, if they get distracted, stop, rewind. If they can't focus for an hour and 15 minutes, which is a challenge to do, they can parcel it out into whatever. I've parceled it down, but they can parcel it further. I think that I've got a good studio where I can record them in a good fashion, and I think by far and away most students like that. I would say, off the top of my head, there are 2 main problems with tech. Number one is it's a distraction. So students think that they are good at multitasking, but nobody's good at multitasking. You switch task, and you cannot think deeply when you keep getting distracted. You miss stuff that's said and not realize you missed it because your brain has been focused somewhere else. So you miss out on information, and you stop the ability to think deeply on any one thing because you get distracted. The second is, you cannot train yourself to become a good problem solver if you don't start with the easy things first and develop the problem solving skill. And every one of my problems that I assign, you can find somebody who solved it already, and you can follow their example, and you will never develop skills. So there's a lot of wonderful resources out there, but they get used by students when they shouldn't be using them, when they should be developing their own skill sets. And it's to me a real problem, because it's a quick fix to an answer when that's not really what I want.
This was social media through the eyes of a longtime lecturer. Dr. Woodrum witnessed the shift in student distraction as technology and social media became more popular. Students were buried in their phones and laptops while lectures were taking place. It is very disheartening as a lecturer to see students distracted during a lecture that so much work was put into. As time passes, more and more students will have been raised with distractions. This will create even more struggle for teachers trying to properly implement tech into the classroom. A possible solution to this could be creating an app that teachers turn on during class time that restricts any other use besides classwork.